I'm on a Pleiadian starship, and the ship is huge. And I'm wearing white clothes. It's like a one-piece outfit. And I have long blonde hair. I look kind of human, but not fully. My head shape is a little bit different. My ears are a little bit different. And I have less fingers. And there's other people around. Everybody's really busy on the ship. I can't quite make out yet what they're doing, but there's lots of buttons. People are pushing lots of different buttons. It's like there's lots going on in humanity, and we're trying to help, trying to assist as many as possible.
This is pretty cool.
It is. Very cool.
Are those people around you? Do they look like humans?
No, we're all Pleiadian, it feels like. Our ships are hovering above Earth. With everything Earth has going on right now, we've just come to assist, come to bring light, come to bring awareness to the people and as much peace and calmness as we can. We're also bringing back to the ships those who have left Earth, those who have died and who connect with the Pleiades. We're allowing them to come back before they travel further on back to spirit. Some choose to come back to their home planets, just for a bit of comfort, a bit of recalibration before they go further up to spirit. So all the buttons, it looks like, are people controlling like doors and light beams to help bring people in to the ship. There's also many that haven't, what humans would call died, that are coming onto the ships. Many that are Pleiadian, they come in their nighttime hours, they come back to the ships to get training, messages, and also assistance in order to help humanity in their waking hours. I'm one of the medical Pleiadians, so I help those that are coming in their sleeping hours from their human bodies who need assistance with energy. Those that are on Earth right now helping humanity to make it through this challenging time that humans are going through. And I help them recalibrate their energy, assist them with their own healing so they can bring extra healing energy back to Earth. You see a big white room that I work in. It's kind of like what Earthlings would have as like a hospital room, but there's not the equipment that you would have in your hospital rooms. There's no oxygen or needles or anything like that. We work with energy and crystal beds. I have a person right now that's laying on a crystal bed, just getting re-energized. A lot of these people that we work with don't remember that they're Pleiadian. They feel very human while they're in their earthly bodies. But at night they come to us. And we're helping them remember a little bit more and a little bit more each time they come. so that they can then serve humanity in a higher and higher way at this time. There are many, many earth beings that are Pleiadian, as well as other places and other planetary beings. I work with the Pleiades and many, many humans who are star beings.
Can you tell me more about why people are dying? The ones who end up on your ship, what happens to them on the earth?
They've chosen to die. This whole virus that you have going on there's so many more meanings to it than earthlings understand. But all these people that are dying right now have chosen to, for the collective's greater understanding, greater awareness. Each person that's died has volunteered to leave the earth at this time to help the earth raise its vibration. As they leave, they're taking with them not just their own karma and their own negativity, but they're taking a piece of the earth's negativity with them, so that the earth is lighter and lighter. Each person that leaves and takes with it some of the earth's negativity, the earth's lower vibrations, they travel through the Pleiades. Not all of them, of course, but some of them. They travel through the Pleiades for us to help them release some of that negativity and disperse of it, transmute it. So we're doing two different things, probably more, but two things that I'm aware of. One is helping those that have crossed over to release some of Earth's lower density vibration before they go back into spirit. So they'll have less clearing to do once they get there. So we're working with those that have died, but we're also working with those that are still on Earth, that are needing assistance and training from us, so that they can go back to Earth and bring more of the higher vibrations back into Earth. This right now is a huge planetary shift that your Earth is on. And there are many of us that are assisting with raising the vibration of each human, each plant, animal, every living being, so that the Earth herself, along with all of the beings on it, can raise their vibration to help with the ascension process.
Good. This is really good information for all of us. I'm sure a lot of people and Angie will benefit from this information. Can you talk more about the people that are being worked on in their sleep? Can you describe what happens when the people, when they fall asleep, and how they're taken to the ship? How does the process work from the time they fall asleep?
So once they're in deep, deep sleep, their soul essence simply floats out of the body. It's not at all that we come and transport them or take over their body. Their soul is very aware of what's happening, and their soul is what's choosing to go up. Those that are from the Pleiades naturally know how to get back to us, because we're not far away. It's not like we live up somewhere in the sky. We're simply just in a different realm of higher vibrational energy, but we're right here with the rest of you. So their soul simply floats out of the body and comes to see us for instruction. There's many different rooms on the ship I'm being shown. I work in the healing room, but there's many different rooms. There's rooms for training for those that are going to be working in different areas of humanity, helping people remember more of their knowledge. And I say people, they're people when they're down on Earth, but truly they're star seeds. They're seeds that are from the Pleiades, and they've simply volunteered to come to Earth to help at this time. So when they leave their bodies and come to the ships, they're remembering more of themselves, more of their true essence, and more of their purpose of why they are on Earth. So each time they come back to the ship at night, we give them more instruction, more of their larger perspective, memory back. They've chosen and we've chosen all as a collective, as the Pleiades, that we don't want everybody having too much information of who they are all at once, because it would wake up the planet too quickly. So each time we have a soul come back to us, they get a little bit more knowledge to come back to Earth with, so that they, as well as the rest of those on Earth, can wake up slowly. So it's not such a jolt to your humanity and not such a jolt to the planet all together. So in the room that I work in, there's crystal beds, and these crystal beds have multiple purposes. One purpose is just to give the beings that come some healing, because being on Earth, when you're a very high vibrational being like a Pleiadian or any of the other star systems, it's actually very hard to be on Earth. And we understand that. Being Pleiadian, we understand how hard it is. So when people come back to us, we try and recalibrate their energy as much as we can by using these high vibrational crystal beds. Just allows them to bring back a little more of their true essence, get some clearing from the dense energies of Earth, and allows them then, when they wake up in the morning back in their earthly life, to feel a little more energized, a little more balanced, a little more ready to take on the next human challenges that they may go through.
Now, is this why some people remember when they wake up that they've been working on the ship, and some do not have, their memory is erased because of what you said, how the awakening has to happen in stages?
Yes, correct. Some aren't ready to fully embrace their starseed self. There are many that are very aware that they're starseeds, that they're from other planets and other systems, but there are many that aren't. So those that aren't consciously aware of it yet come back in the morning and don't remember anything, because they're not ready to embrace that in a conscious way. But there are many that do remember where they've been at night, what they've been doing. And even if they don't remember, they do have slight inklings that something has happened. They know they've been working, they know they've been active. Some even wake up what they would call in their human way more tired, even though we're giving them energy and helping them recalibrate. It's a very different energy than what they feel on Earth. So they might feel in earthly ways more tired, whereas their soul self is feeling more rejuvenated. And it's a learning for them to recalibrate the two, allowing the soul energy to embody more of the human self, so that the human body is not so tired. So for example, somebody like Angie right now is feeling extremely tired, and it's because she is one of those people that is coming to the crystal beds and is coming to get training and knowledge. So when she goes back to her earthly body, there needs to be a lot of recalibration happening. Her DNA is being shifted and changed and cleared out. So her body itself is going through tremendous upgrades to keep up with all of the soul stuff that is happening for her. And there are many, many on the planet going through this at this time.
Is there something that can help her feel more energized when she wakes up, or is that just a process that she has to go through?
That's actually a very good question because there are many going through this.
Yes.
So it's a twofold system. Partly it is simply a process because the body is being changed to embody more energy. So it's going to take time for that recalibration to happen. And it is going to just take what you call earthly time for those shifts to happen. But also each human can make it a little easier by eating proper foods. And what we call proper foods are very light foods. Many humans eat a lot of very dense, heavy foods like meat and processed foods. And to make the calibration process much easier, we recommend that people eat very, very light foods, drink a lot of water, because as your body is changing, you're flushing out things that no longer vibrate with it, and you're absorbing new things. So being that your body is made up of so much water, that will help the process tremendously, allowing the flushing out to happen and the absorption of the new energy in.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, is there anything that Angie should add or remove or change from her diet to feel better and more in line with her newer body?
She's very aware, even before you ask the question, what she needs to change. But we're going to answer it not just for her, but for others. Sugar is very important. Of course, as you're all feeling very tired, the thing you lean on the most is sugar, or for some caffeine. Not so much for Angie, but most people go to sugar and caffeine for a quick energy. And those are two of the worst things that you can do for the body, because those are more toxins, really. And as the body is trying to raise its vibration, you're fighting against it by putting more toxins in, because then those are holding the vibration down. So you want to eat foods that are going to allow your body to be light and energized. And of course, most of you know this, but we'll speak it anyway. It's things that are natural, things that your body can easily process. So natural fruits and vegetables, lots of water like we spoke of before, leaving the processed foods behind. Anything that's in a package or wrapper, anything that does not naturally grow on your earth does not serve your body at any time, but definitely not right now as you're going through this ascension process. It's like, if you can imagine, we're giving you a balloon to help you float and rise up in your ascension, but you're fighting that balloon by holding weights down on you. So we're using that example as a way to say that you're eating all these low vibrational toxic foods. And we're not specifically talking Angie right now, we're just talking humanity in general. Eating a lot of low vibrational foods while trying to allow your body to rise up. Can you see how it's not going to work? You're fighting the process. So a very high vibrational, low density foods, high density foods will help the body to work with the process instead of fighting against it.
Thank you for this information. You mentioned that when people go up to those ships at night, they're given some kind of instructions to take back to Earth. Can you elaborate on that? What kind of instructions they're giving?
I don't have a lot of details because I don't work specifically in that room, but the ship is very large, and it's almost like what you could imagine like a school, and each room is like a different training classroom. So for each person that's on the earth that has come from the Pleiades, and again, we're only speaking Pleiades, but there are many different star systems, and all the other star systems, I imagine, work similarly. But each room is like its own sort of classroom, and each person that has come to Earth from the Pleiades has come with a specialized sort of training or energy that they're going to bring to Earth. So each room has their own purpose, their own classroom per se. Some are learning more how to tap into their deeper energies to help people who are grieving. Some are learning how to bring new technologies to Earth. Some are learning how to bring new communication to Earth. As your Earth is going through this tremendous shift right now, you're going to be losing old vibrational things, technologies, all sorts of things that are no longer serving your planet. So many are learning to remember the skills that they had when they lived on the Pleiades, to bring those back to your Earth right now and in the future coming months and years as your planet evolves more and more. So there's many different rooms, many different classrooms. I'm again not privy to all of that information, but my room that I work in is the healing room and the rejuvenation room.
Now, can you take us to a place where you eat and rest, or if like you're home on that ship? Be there now and tell me what you see and describe it to me.
It's a very tiny room. It's got bunk beds. There are many, many of us on the ship. So we share a lot of space. We don't tend to eat much. We get more of our energy from the solar system that we exist in. And we simply just exist from our soul's energy, from the source. So we don't tend to eat. Some Pleiadians choose to eat food, but I am not one of those. I simply connect my heart energy to source's energy and to the sun. And it fills me up, much like if you could imagine a jug of water being filled up. Anytime I feel low, I simply connect my heart to the source energy, to the sun energy, and it fills me up completely.
And what is the family structure there? What, or is the relationship structure with other beings on the ship?
I'm just trying to connect with others. I don't feel like I have brothers or sisters like it is on planet Earth. We're all sort of connected. It's a very different connection. We all come from source like you do. There isn't the same relatives and family tree like you guys experience on Earth. I see other Pleiadians around me, and there is somewhat of a hierarchy still, not in a negative way, but there are some that are more advanced, many that are more advanced than I am. And I go to them. But I don't relate with anybody as a family member, like a mom or a dad or a brother or a sister or an uncle or anything like that. We're all very much equal in our connection with each other.
And how many of you are on the ship at this moment?
There's thousands and thousands of us. I don't even know all of them. There's many. They all have specific purposes.
Is there anyone in charge of the ship and all of the other beings on the ship?
There are several in charge of the ship. And interestingly enough, in humanity, what you would class as the most in charge is usually the masculines. In the Pleiades, it's actually more the females that are in charge. There are several commanders, and they're all women. There are some men that work with the women, but the women are much more, it's not a hierarchy at all, but the women are just respected for their intuitive knowledge in a different way than what is on Earth.
Do you ever go to the home planet?
Yes, that's where I spend most of my time. In fact, that's where a lot of us spend our time. But right now, with the large shift happening on human Earth, we've come to assist. We knew this was coming. We weren't sure when, of course, because there are many different timelines and alternatives, but we have been prepared for this for quite some time. So we've left our home planet and have come here to assist at this time.
Good. Now let's close that scene and let's go back to your home planet. Tell me what you see.
It's just pure light. I see myself standing kind of on a cliff and seeing like a valley with what, if you were looking with human eyes, you would think was like a city in the valley with all the lights on at night. But those lights are actually not power lights. They're all the Pleiadians and their soul lights. So we radiate so much light. And it's not that humans don't have that same light, you do, but it's covered up with the lower density of Earth. So on our planet, it's a very high dense planet. So there's a lot of a high energy, a lot of light, a lot of peace. We don't have fighting or anger or hierarchy or anything like that. We resonate just with love. We live in love, we live in peace. We do have advanced technology, but we don't use it as much as we use our inner knowing or telepathy. So we don't even speak in words, we speak telepathically to each other. We work with energy. We very much understand that we are energy. We are all energy. It doesn't matter what planet we live on or come from. We are all energy. And as Pleiadians, we understand how to work with energy. So we can think of something and attract it to us instantly. We can create just with a thought. If I want to, for example, see a waterfall, I can just think of a waterfall and then it's right there and I can stand under a waterfall. So we know how to work very well with energy. Color is very important as well because color is very strong in energy. For example, when I look at the waterfall, it's full of color and brightness and what you would call rainbows on your planet. Every color of the imagined eye that could see is in this waterfall. And we do a lot of healing work on our planet, not for ourselves, but for other low density planets like Earth and others like it as well. we use a lot of color, a lot of energy to heal, to bring forth more wisdom, more insight to people, because they can connect with color and energy better than they can connect with their own mind or words in their mind, per se.
Thank you. It really sounds really beautiful. What do you do up there? And it's a really beautiful place for sure.
It's very free. We have a lot more freedom and less restriction than what we experience on Earth, because our bodies are much lighter. We're able to fly and teleport and be wherever we need to be instantly.
Now, Angie had a question if there's anything she could do to activate more of her galactic skills and abilities at this time.
If she sets her intention before she goes to sleep at night, when she comes to see us, she can then choose to go to the room where those teachings happen, and she can, of course, she has all of that knowledge in her, but she can learn to tap into it better. It's just like, for example, a person might be a natural dancer, but they can go to school to learn actual dance moves to enhance their skills. So if she simply sets her intention before she goes to sleep at night, that will help her then come to us, connect with her home planet and her family more, as we are in the Pleiades. And she can bring back more of that knowledge with her upon awakening.
That makes a lot of sense. And the life you're showing to us right now, is that one of her past lives, or is that a parallel life that she is currently living?
It's a parallel life. So of course, Angie is a healer in every aspect of who she is, whether it's on Earth or the Pleiades or other planets. So I am a piece of her, and I am a healer in the Pleiadian planet.
She also had a question. She wanted to know more about other planets she's been on and what information she's here to bring forth from those places.
Of course, she knew this answer would come before she even asked the question. And that is that the information from her other planets and star systems and galaxies that she has been on will come as she needs them. Again, she can set her intention at night when she sleeps to bring in more of that. But she also knows that it will come naturally when it is meant to. It's always part of the process and part of the plan that when you come here as a human and choose to be in the human existence, that you're going to bring forth what you need when you need it, and not sooner, because it would affect the whole sort of, if you want to use the word game or stage show that you're on. You've come for a purpose here. You've come not just for learning, but to experience. So part of the lesson is to experience what you don't have that you miss. So some of those skills that you're used to on other star systems, planets, galaxies, all of those things. She will, though, be receiving much more of her natural skills and abilities coming forth into her human form. We all know you hate this word soon, but in the terms of what we would class as soon, and that does not mean years and years from now. Of course, your planet is in a time that it is ready for new advancements, new information, new technologies coming forth. So all of these things will not just start flowing forth for Angie, but for many of you. don't be surprised if in the next few years there's many more advancements in your technology and in your human abilities as well.
Thank you. That was really helpful information. And just to confirm, are we speaking with Angie's higher self right now?
Right now, you're more speaking with the Pleiadian self of her, which of course is part of the higher self. There's sort of many levels to what you class as being able to speak to. We are really all one, but we can bring forth different knowledge and different information depending on which aspect of the one source, because we all are part of the one source. So depending
Yes.
on which aspect you're tapping into. And right now, Angie is tapping mostly into the Pleiadian aspect of herself.
Would it be appropriate to ask some of the questions that she put for collective with that Pleiadian higher self right now?
Absolutely. I could probably give some insights to her questions.
So one of her questions is, how can those of us who are highly sensitive to the intense collective energies best manage our energy?
Yes, this is a good question because there are many of you experiencing this right now.
Yes.
So some of these answers are going to be information that you already know, but maybe have forgotten, and other answers will be new. So some of the things that you already know of is, of course, getting out in nature, getting as close to Mother Earth as possible in what you call earthing. So standing on the earth barefoot, touching the dirt, touching the grass, touching the tree. Absorb some of that energy, because that will bring that energy into your, not only energy field, but into your physical body as well. And the more of that natural energy you bring into you, the more grounded you then feel, and the more relaxed you will feel. And when you're more relaxed and connected with Mother Earth, the less of the lower density vibrations can get through to you. They'll simply move past you and transmute through you. Much of you think that you need to feel tired as being a transmuter, and Angie, of course, is one of those. But you can transmute in a much easier way. And one of those, of course, as we just spoke, is being with nature more. But also water. Remember, water is very, very conductive. So as you're transmuting the energy for the collective, which, by the way, we all very much appreciate. There are a lot of you on this earth right now that are transmuters, and we're very grateful for the work that you do. And you're doing much more work than you are even aware. So just as an aside, we thank you for that. But we want to remind you that it doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to be exhausting like you feel that it does. So you can use water as a huge energy transmuter. Intentionally set your mind to releasing all of the energies into the water. You can do this anytime with water. You can do this while you're having a shower or a bath. You can do this while you're swimming in water. You can do this while you're gazing into water. You can do this while your feet are dangling in a pool, or preferably natural body of water, like an ocean or a river or a lake. Anything where you're near water, simply intentionally think the thoughts of releasing everything that is not serving you, all of the heavy energies that you might be feeling. Just let them go into that water. Let them go with the intention that the earth knows how to process them and will transmute them for you. So in that way, all you're doing is allowing the energies to transfer from the collective through you to Mother Earth. You don't have to be the one to transmute them yourself. You're simply a conduit to help release them into Mother Earth. And in that way, you'll feel much, much lighter. It doesn't have to be so hard, and it doesn't have to be so exhausting like you think it does.
Yes, thank you. I will try some of that advice myself for sure. And her other question was, what changes can we expect from the current shift we're in?
That's a very big question. We did already acknowledge some of them. You will notice in the next months and years coming ahead that there will be many new advancements. There's going to be a lot of things that will close, a lot of things that are in your current Earth, for example, businesses and ways of being, ways of living, foods that you eat, that will cease to exist in a few years, even just as short a time as a few years. But there will also then be a lot of new businesses opening up with higher vibrational intentions, higher vibrational purposes, new technologies coming out to help you. You'll find there's better and easier ways to travel, much quicker ways to travel that don't harm the Earth with so much fuel burning. All of these sorts of things are going to start evolving out of your human collective desire for new, better ways. Everything that you're experiencing right now on your Earth is showing you as a collective human energy that there are better ways. You're watching now, as you've all retreated into your homes, how nature is starting to flourish again. How water and trees and energies and skies and mountains, all of your areas that you love so much, but yet have abused so much, are now flourishing and are cleaner. Even your animals are coming out of hiding and they're walking down your streets.
Yes.
And this is going to start happening more and more as humanity recognizes that they are abusing the Earth, and they start to awaken to the fact that they want their Earth to be the beautiful place that it's becoming. They will start creating new technologies to help the animals, new technologies to help the sky and the mountains and the waters stay clear. Your Earth will never ever be the same as it was even just months ago. And this some feel sad about right now, thinking we will never have what we had before. But yet if they only knew, it's only going to get better and better and better. You're making your Earth the Earth that it was intended to be. And now as you're seeing how humanity has, this is going to sound like a harsh word, but has trashed the Earth, some in awareness and some in complete unawareness. But now as you're all becoming more aware, as you're witnessing how the Earth is transforming as you're stepping out of the way, many, many more will start to change their habits, their actions, and the things that they do in order to love Mother Earth more. They will start seeing Earth as a living, breathing being, and they will start to respect the Earth rather than taking energy from her. They will start giving energy to her. So you'll see your Earth in a whole new way. You're going to even see more colors, much like we just spoke about that we experience in the Pleiades. You'll start seeing more colors on your Earth, more vibrancy, as the energies on your Earth become less and less dense. You're going to have more lightness, more vibrancy. You're going to start seeing new animals come through, new plants, new flowers, new colors that you've never seen before. The Earth is going to evolve in transformative ways. You're going to look back just a few years from now and go, wow, how did we ever live in that Earth we were on before? How did we ever survive? It's going to be so different that you won't even recognize the place you used to live. It's going to be transformed completely into a whole new, colorful, bright, free, and clean world. Now be aware that this is going to take many, many years, but you will start to see it happening in short amounts of time. The changes are already happening. It's only going to get larger and larger.
Really exciting times for us. Looking forward to see what's going to happen for sure. Now, Angie had a question. So she and her partner Rob are very drawn to the mountains, and they feel like they're doing some great work when they're in them. Can you tell her more about this deep connection to the mountains, and if there's anything more they can do to assist the planet at this time with the grid work?
Yes. So they are very connected to the mountains for many, many reasons. On other planets they have lived on, they have connected with the mountains there. So it's very much like a home energy to them. The mountains where they live now, part of their mission is to work with those mountains, and they're going to, in the next, we'll say, couple of years. Again, timing, it's always hard for us that don't live so much in a world of time to express time to you that live in a world of time.
Yes.
Time can change. This shift that your planet is going through was predicted, but it was not necessarily predicted in the year that is happening. It was all up in the air depending on what humanity was doing. So it's never easy to say in a year from now or a month from now, because things can change depending on how you as a collective human race change. And you're moving quicker than, quite honestly, a lot of us that have been sort of on the outskirts assisting and waiting and watching. We're observing that your human collective race is evolving quicker than we had thought would happen. So when we say a couple of years, please don't hold us to that, because it could be less time, it could be more time, depending on many factors that we, as bystanders to your planet, can't really control. But from the trajectory that we see now, we see that it will only be a short few years that Robert and Angie will start bringing in more information from the mountains. There will be, we don't want to give too much away because we like for it to be surprises for them. But there will be knowledge that they will find within their, what they class as their sacred mountains, as they are. And they will bring this forth, and this will help humanity in a much larger way. But yes, they are definitely doing grid work when they are in the mountains, and much like you yourself are a gatekeeper of the places where you hold right now, Rob and Angie are gatekeepers for their mountains. They lovingly call the mountains their mountains, and while it's not true that it's their mountains, because they're truly everybody's mountains, but they very much feel like it's their mountains in terms of a loving child that they connect with. So they deeply, deeply connect with these sacred energy spaces, and they will find more reasons in the coming times as to reasons why they connect so deeply in the energy that they feel from these mountains.
And is there a connection between the area where I am at, which is near Mount Shasta, with the area where there is Mount Rainier in Seattle, and the area Angie and Rob are in? and also the Vancouver area in terms of grid work and what we're all doing in terms of connecting those points.
Yes, absolutely. If you were to look at all of these on a map and draw a line, you might notice there's some interesting connections that you hadn't realized before. So we invite you to pull out a map and draw a line between all of these areas and see what comes up. Again,
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of those lines are not on the maps right now if you were to pull it off the internet.
Yes, correct. But yes, they are all connected, and you are all, of course, connected yourselves, and you're doing much, much work in each of your own areas, but then eventually that's all going to connect. Much like puzzle pieces, you're each putting your own puzzle pieces in. And soon all of those puzzle pieces are going to come together and connect with each other to make a much larger image and a much larger connection for all of you involved.
And what I want to ask about another question Angie had, which is how can we as starseeds, light workers, and healers best serve or assist humanity and the earth during this shift of ascension?
So some of that we've already spoken about.
Yes.
Yes, and that is, of course, what you eat, because when you assist yourself, then you're also assisting humanity. It's much like how you speak on your earth, the analogy you like to use about putting your own mask on first before assisting others. If you're in high vibration, you're naturally assisting others simply by just existing. So the higher vibration you can be in, the better and more effectively you're assisting others. So by eating well, by resting well, by connecting with nature, again, as transmuters, releasing the energy that you're just simply meant to be a conduit for. When you're doing all of those things, you're then assisting yourself, and then you can naturally assist others. And when you're in high vibration, your actions are high vibrational. Your words are high vibrational. And soon you'll become very aware of how your energy is all connected to everything. Some of you are already aware of this, but more and more will become aware of how your energy ripples out. So when your energy is high vibrational, you ripple out high vibration energy everywhere you go. So it doesn't even have to be anything specific that you say or do to another. It's simply by remaining in a high vibration yourself that will then ripple out to people that you don't even know, not even those that you've listed, but there are many more that you're not even aware of or aware that you're even connected to. It could be somebody on the other side of the planet. But yet by having a high vibration, that ripples out to every single energy being out there.
Yes.
That is the most important way, is by taking the best care of yourself.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And do you have any messages of encouragement for light workers, starseeds at this time to continue doing what they're supposed to be doing in their missions?
Yeah, that's a very lovely question. First, before we give any messages, we would just like to say a big thank you. Again, when you understand that we are all connected, we are all one, it doesn't matter if you're on a star system like the Pleiades, or if you're on planet Earth, or any other galaxy star system in the universe. We are all connected, and we are all here for the same mission, the same purpose. But looking at your planet compared to ours, we just give you encouragement to remember who you are. As each of you remembers your eternal connection to the one source, you help everyone else do the same. So again, much like the previous question, simply by just existing in your highest being, your highest knowing, your highest energy, you're assisting others to do the same. So we simply encourage you, much against what your planet kind of goes with, is we encourage you to put yourself first. And of course, not in a what you would call a human selfish way, but in a very high standard. The more you take care of yourself, the more you value yourself, the more you respect yourself, the more you eat clean, the more you rest when you need to, instead of rushing off here and there thinking, oh, I have to meet this person. I committed to meeting them today. I have to stick with it. If you would honor yourself, and if yourself says, no, today I need to rest, not go out, that's what we're speaking of by taking care of yourself in the highest way. When you do that, you assist everybody around you in the highest way. Sure, you might be offending their human self by not honoring your meeting with them, but the soul connection is much more important. And by caring for the self, you care for every other self, because every other self is connected to you. So we also invite you, as a way of encouragement, to not take things so seriously. Because your earth is a very dense place right now, although it is evolving with every moment, every hour that we speak upon, you are evolving more and more on your planet. But still, you take things very seriously on this planet. You have very little fun compared to what we do, for example, on the Pleiades. Everything we do is joy. We don't do anything if we don't want to. We don't do anything that feels like work. Each of us is in a position, going back, for example, to the ship that we're on, every room in the ship, each person that works in that room, it's not really work. We all love what we do. And if we're not enjoying what we do anymore, we get training to go work somewhere else. And we invite you to do the same thing. There are so many on your earth that are in jobs that they hate, that are in relationships that aren't serving them, that are in homes that they don't like, or in cities that they don't resonate with. We simply ask you to do what brings you joy. Instead of torturing yourself by thinking, I have to do this, do something that you want to do. Do something that uplifts you and brings you happiness. So we invite you to have more fun, because that will help you to enjoy life and not make it so heavy. By the question asking for encouragement, that tells us that a lot of you are struggling. A lot of you are challenged right now. And we know that's part of it is your learning, and part of it is experience that you must go through. But it doesn't have to be as hard as you make it. And we don't say these words out of judgment or criticism. We understand that your planet is very different from ours, and for its own reasons. But we just invite you to make things lighter, make things more fun, do things you enjoy doing. We also remind you that all the things you're doing for good have much more of an impact than you may know. Many times you feel discouraged because you think, oh, I haven't touched any lives, I haven't really helped anybody. But if you understood those ripple effects we spoke of earlier, you would know that every good deed, every kind word, every action that is unseen or that you think is unseen has a deep, high impact for every single being, not only on your planet, but every planet. Once again, when you remember the connection, we are all part of the source energy. And when you give out any sort of energy of love, of kindness, of generosity, that ripple effect goes much beyond what you could ever imagine. So know that every kind deed that you do, whether you think it's noticed or not, is making a tremendous impact on not only the humans on your earth, but on the beings in the entire universe. Remember how deeply connected you are, and what you do for another, you do for yourself, and what you do for yourself, you do for another.
Thank you. That was a really beautiful message for all of us. Are there any more messages for Angie or for the collective or any other beings that want to come through and speak through Angie right now before we move to talking to her higher self?
Again, we would just like to remind you that you are doing more wonderful work than you may think you are. Your planet is in much better shape than you think it is. Some of you feel very hopeless right now. Some of you feel very discouraged right now. Some of you may have lost your jobs, lost your homes, lost your loved ones even. And you feel like life, like God, like Source, whatever you wish to call it, is punishing you for something you may have done wrong. And we just want to remind you that there is never, ever punishment. There is only love for you in the universe. So anytime that you feel sad, you feel low, you feel hopeless, you feel completely alone, know that it's those times that we and many, many other beings are standing right beside you. If you simply open up your energy, often when you're in that low, sad energy, you close yourself off and you say, but yet we are all around you, and you say, but we can't feel you. And it's not that you can't feel us because we're not there. You can't feel us because you've closed your energy. So we invite you in those moments when you feel your lowest to open up. It doesn't mean you have to instantly feel happy or enlightened. Just simply open your energy just a little bit even. And that will allow us to tap into you, to give you some encouragement, some love, some peace, even some joy. Just know that you have much more support, guidance, help, and assistance from many, many beings around the entire universe right now. You have a whole crowd cheering you on. We are all so excited to watch the transformations that your planet is going through right now. And we are all here to assist you in any way that we can. So if you're feeling challenged, if you're feeling low, simply call out for help. There are many, many light beings here to help you.